Hey, Merry Christmas, Monday Movie Club fans. This week we watched a Christmas movie, Die Hard. I'm Frank Gaffney. Here with me is Fenster, Annie King, Amy Goldman, and Mark G, who uh, likes Huey Lewis.
One of them was in the movie.
Oh, I see. Pick which one.
The
All
one
right,
that's
so I mean, it has been a running joke for how many years? 25 years. Whether or not Die Hard is a Christmas movie, it's definitely not a Christmas movie.
What?
It certainly takes place around Christmas time. Bruce Willis comes to LA for Christmas to see his kids and his estranged wife, played by Bonnie Bedelia. It's really not a Christmas movie, like along the lines of It's a Wonderful Life or Miracle on 34th Street or even Elf. But it's a great movie. Director John McTiernan. He did a lot of action movies, right, Joel?
Yes, he did.
He has created the perfect bad guys are bad guys, good guys are good guys. There's pyrotechnics, gunfights, and lots of well-placed wisecracks by Bruce Willis. One of which became one of the greatest movie quotes of all time, right? Yippee-ki-yay. Can I say motherfucker on Facebook?
You just did.
All right.
There you go.
And it really does hold your attention, and it definitely makes you hold your breath because you're like, how is he going to get out of this one all the time? Bruce Willis rose to superstardom and got a then unheard of $5 million payday just based on being on Moonlighting on TV. He's John McClane, the lone wolf New York City cop who ends up single-handedly taking down a team of German thieves led by the very charismatic and ruthless Alan Rickman in his film debut. And I read somewhere that Bruce Willis was more German than Alan Rickman was.
He was born in Germany. I didn't know that before. I looked it up.
His mother was German, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the script is based on a 1979 novel, Nothing Lasts Forever, by Roderick Thorpe. And this was his sequel to The Detective, which was made into a movie in 1968 with Frank Sinatra. So Fox was legally obligated to offer the role to Frank Sinatra first, who turned it down because he was about to turn 70. I think that would have been a very different movie. A lot more stuntmen involved. And you can find tons of interesting tidbits if you watch Netflix Movies That Made Us episode on Die Hard. I'm not going to go over all of them. And in 1988, I was actually working at 20th Century Fox, and this was a big movie for Fox, obviously. And that Nakatomi Plaza was actually the Fox headquarters at the time, but it's not anymore, right? Aim, it's not. No. And I remember they were in the process of building it. They were still building it when they filmed the movie there. They had not moved in yet. Okay, so very fortuitous that they made this movie.
And we went to visit it in 2011.
Nakatomi Plaza. Okay, well, so talking about nits to pick, and I always pick my nits. So it's a very movie of its time, obviously, for several reasons. John McClane has a gun on his flight to LA. He smokes at baggage claim. They talk about CB radios and VHS players. And Bonnie Bedelia tells her pregnant secretary to go have another drink. And gas is 74 cents a gallon. Talk about
in California, where it's the most expensive, no less.
Right. And of course, right, if it was today, cell phones would have helped this whole situation. Seriously. But of course, he would have lost his cell phone somehow. And there's lots of other ridiculousness in this movie. Okay, so when Bruce gets to the building, the guard sitting at the front makes him use this. I mean, obviously at the time it was a very up-to-date computer to find his wife. And obviously it was a device just to make us find out that she's using her maiden name now. But then the guard says they're the only ones left in the building. So the guard is a dick, basically.
Yep.
Making him look up the name when he knows there's only one
Knows
thing going on in
exactly
the
where
whole
she
building.
is. Yeah.
Retarded. And how does Hans know everything about Takachaki, whatever his name is? Takagi.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know what he looks like. Or, pardon me, Annie, I'm sorry, do all Asians look alike to him? So he's like, I don't know which one of you is Takagi. Whatever.
Augie.
Takagi. Okay. And how did we miss a scene? How did he go from wearing a white t-shirt to a gray t-shirt?
Blood, sweat, and tears.
Is
Yeah.
that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And is there still college football at Christmas? Because the guy at the console was watching college football.
I think it depends on the day of the week.
Really? And I don't know much about two-way radios, but I don't think two people can talk at the same time. On a
Oh,
two-way
right,
radio.
right.
You have to say over.
Right.
And who knows who Roy Rogers is now? I mean, obviously, even then, it was like if you had to be over 40 to get that reference.
I knew who Roy Rogers was in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you were 40.
I was
Yeah,
not.
Okay.
But
And then-
wasn't it also Roy Rogers Foundation that came around and asked you for money when you went to the
In the
movie?
theaters, yes,
Yeah.
in the theaters.
Yeah, I had definitely heard the name
yes.
too.
I
Yeah.
remember that.
Yeah,
And of course-
the chain of restaurants, the Roy
Yes,
Rogers.
we also had the restaurants,
Right.
yeah.
The best
Well-
chicken.
And not Kenny Rogers Roasters?
No, Roy Rogers fried.
Okay, and then when the FBI shows up and then Hans says, you know, that they can they're gonna cut off the power, so we don't need to do anything else. Was their plan already to wait for the FBI to cut off the power?
Yes.
he made that
Yes.
very clear.
So
For the
so
restaurant.
how were they gonna get the FBI there if John McClane didn't show up?
They knew that the FBI was going to show up at some point because they were holding hostages.
And how did Carl get out of those chains around his body and his neck when he was supposedly dead? And then he jumps up at the end of the movie to scare us all with a gun, no less.
It's like the only part of the movie that I don't like. It's just silly.
That's
It's
what makes
retarded.
the movie exactly like Lethal Weapon. You know,
Yeah.
the bad guy jumps up at the end, and the black cop saves the white cop from being shot by him.
And was this before or after that?
Yes.
1 year
That's right.
after, I believe Lethal Weapon was
Yeah.
87.
Oh, okay. So
So 2 Christmas movies in a row.
okay. And then watching the credits, there was a lady listed as the hairstylist to Bruce Willis.
He
It takes a
had
lot-
hair then. He did have hair.
I guess she didn't have that much to do though.
Well, she had to keep it in continuity, you know, if it got, you know, dirty or bloody or ruffled, you know, that's what she's dealing with. She's not dealing with, you know, keeping a pompadour in place, you know, every day. She's dealing with,
All right, I'm still saying that was the easiest job on this movie. All right, so yeah, it's silly to pick nits for this movie. I'm still giving it 3.5 stars, a weak 3.5 stars, but it's still a fun movie, and it really loses that half a star for being a little too calculating, and you know there was even some eye rolling going on for me, and it's stuck in the 1980s-ness that obviously you can't help. It was trying to be current at the time. And again, no, it is not a Christmas movie. But if you need an excuse to watch this movie once a year, knock yourself out. That's what I say. All right, Annie, you must love this movie. Come on.
I do. I love this movie. It's funny because I haven't seen it from beginning to end in a long time. But anytime I catch it, I watch it. And I usually
Remote dropper.
I usually come in somewhere in the middle or, you know, so it was fun to watch it from the beginning, just kind of
There's a lot of exposition.
yeah. So like the fist with your toes line, like it never occurred to me that was at the beginning. Like I never remember that line from the airplane. So that was
Right.
cute. But then you like mentioned all the other things that I was going to say with the pregnant woman drinking and stuff, and the gas for 74 cents. One of my favorite lines is come out to the coast.
Yeah,
Get
of
to-
course.
We'll have, have a few
Also
laughs.
iconic, yeah.
Yeah, so that was cute. But yeah, no, I saw it way back when, and it's always fun to watch. I think I like movies where things are like all thought out in the beginning, and then you see how it like comes together at the end.
It's
So
amazing you say that because they were writing the script a day ahead of the filming every day.
Wow.
that was cool then, yeah.
Yeah.
The way that everything all comes together just is fun.
Yeah, like when they had the van and the ambulance or whatever came out of the van, I'm sure you saw in movies that made us, they thought of that at the end when they were filming that, and there was no ambulance in the van at the beginning, and they were like, ah, fuck it, nobody's gonna remember.
Yes, because when they all came out of the truck,
There was no ambulance in there.
Yeah,
so
Maybe they went to get it and came back.
right.
and I've loved every subsequent Die Hard movie. So
Loved is a strong term for the
Yeah.
rest of them.
Yeah.
But
I enjoy them.
I enjoyed them.
I enjoy them all. Yeah. So it's definitely a strong 3.5 points for me. 3.5
Exactly what I'm
stars.
gonna say.
Aim, when was the last time you saw it before today?
Couldn't even tell you the last time I saw it, but I definitely saw it quite a few times in the 80s. And the funny thing is, you're saying about how much you love the sequels. I definitely saw 2, and I think I love 2, and I definitely saw 3, don't remember it at all. But Yippee-ki-yay with the gas lighting the plane is what I had in my head. And all he did was say it in this movie, and that moment in 2 is incredible. So if you guys haven't seen 2, that's the best moment of 2. Really the
Yes,
only
it is.
only part I
it is the
remember.
it is the only best moment of 2.
Maybe I didn't love it then, because that's the only thing I remember. I didn't really take that many notes. My first huge smile was when Argyle played the Christmas song, the Christmas music, and it was Run DMC. Love that. I had a big smile. I was like, I'm gonna love this movie. I liked it a lot. I thought no company would have a party on Christmas Eve. Throwing the dead body onto Al Powell's car to get his attention, I thought was brilliant. Love that. Because how are they going to get him to come back? And I wrote the scene where Bruce Willis, so cool, he faked Hans out and gave him the gun, the whole moment where they first meet. That was the moment I thought when Bruce Willis became an action star. It was so well written. He acted it so well. I just love that moment.
Yeah, and both of those moments are really plotted so well. Like, and that's John McTiernan, because when that body comes flying onto the car, you don't see Bruce Willis throwing it. So it's as much a shock to you as it is to Argyle. And then the second one you mentioned with them, talking, and you see the board. Joel, you're saying no?
Yeah, you called Al Powell Argyle.
Oh, did I?
Moving on. Just keep going.
Al Powell? Sorry. Who knows? And the second one, when he sees the billboard, whatever, with the names on it, and he's like, he just said that was his name. But
Yeah.
you don't, and that's when you become clued into it, and that's good directing.
Yeah, really a lot of great stuff like that. There were moments I thought the movie was a little slow, and I'm like, let's go, let's get to the action scene. And I'm not really usually all that into nonstop shooting and action and fireworks, especially in all the Marvel movies. I'm like, let's get on with this 4-hour scene already. But I thought the last 40 minutes of this movie were fabulous, and that is bumping it up to 3.5 stars. Up to then, it would have been 3.25 tops.
Well,
It's a fun movie. Mark G, you want to tell your Huey Lewis bit first?
Sure. No, he's my favorite terrorist. That's all.
Okay.
The
And
guy on
what
my-
do you know this other guy's name, or you don't?
I did when I looked it up when I was watching a movie. I forget now. He doesn't even have a profile picture on IMDb, so I don't think he's done all that much.
No.
Right.
But he apparently did run into him. He did run into Huey Lewis once in real life, and I think his quote was, "He's a little guy," because the guy that was in the movie is 6'4". So
And then they did the mirror thing from I Love Lucy.
exactly. Well, I love this one. This is this is definitely a Christmas movie, Frank.
20th Century Fox said it was a Christmas movie in 2018.
Of
Yep.
course they would.
Yeah,
It helps to propagate the movie for them.
sure.
So for me, 2 weeks in a row of great action movies with a few seconds of boobs. You know, I'm a happy man.
Wait,
McClane
where
and
were the
Powell-
boobs in this one?
in the very beginning when the terrorist stormed in and he just took his shoes off, the couple next door, the woman was dragged out. She was topless.
Oh yeah.
And then there was the poster on the wall, which he kept walking by in the beginning by the roof. It was it was like a Playboy picture.
Right. Right. I
Um,
somehow did not notice that.
I did. McClane and Powell, to me, just a perfect movie team. And they're finally getting to meet at the end. I thought it was very touching, and I mean, it was good for the movies. I like that. And I forget who was saying it before, but I think it was Annie. I appreciated Bruce Willis's reactions, his facial expressions. I think, you know, for me, as much I love Schwarzenegger and Stallone action movies, probably more than Bruce Willis, right? But
More than you should.
more than I should. But they're always playing a tough guy. They're never scared. They're always in charge, even when they're getting shot out. Bruce Willis looked legit panicked and scared and frustrated.
Yeah, I think that was one of the big selling points of this movie, that he was much more the everyday guy.
Yes,
Okay.
you could picture yourself doing the same thing. He was scared, so I really appreciated that. And is it me or is Bruce Willis like the best smirker in the world? He's always
Oh,
doing
yeah.
that smirk. I'd love to party with Argyle, and you know, let's face it, he's the real hero here. I think we all know that.
How does he
has-
get cell phone reception in a garage under the basement of the garage? That's what I want to know.
I don't know.
It's a private line from the limo to wherever. So yeah.
Yeah.
It's Christmas magic.
There you see, that's
Exactly.
a Christmas movie.
Joel, has William Atherton ever been in anything where he's actually likable?
Atherton.
Oh, is it
Yeah,
Atherton?
he was good at playing dicks for sure.
Yeah.
This is what he was really good at. I'm sure if I looked at his filmography, I'd find one or two things.
Okay,
Here, hang on. Keep talking. I'll find something.
I'll keep going. And for me, you know, while Ellis has a very punchable face, he has one of my favorite lines of the whole movie with, you know, hey, sprechen Sie talk. That was hilarious.
Yeah, that was funny.
The way he
That was
says
good
it, he was perfect dick in there.
Saying, do
Alan-
you talk? That was good.
Hans Booby. I mean, it's just
Booby.
yeah. Alan Rickman. I mean, first movie. I know he did a lot of stage stuff before this, but he was just perfect in this. And given my German heritage, I may or may not have referred to my peen as Hans Gruber from time to time. And I'll
'Cause
be
it's-
honest.
and you do want to die hard, right?
Nice. I'll be honest, I can sympathize with Hans a little. I mean, there have definitely been a few Facebook discussions with Joel that have made me want to shoot Shice the Fenster too. And for me, so it's a strong 3.5 stars for me too.
Who picked this movie? Frank, was it you for Christmas? Or did...
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, I think we technically voted on it, but I think
No, we
did
did
we
not.
vote?
we did
No.
not vote. No,
Oh,
I thought this
You
is a
declared it.
perfect. Yeah,
Looking at William Atherton's filmography, I cannot find anything that I remember. Like there's things I don't remember his role in like the New Centurions or the Day of the Locust or things like that. Those are early movies, but you know, I'm looking at like, okay, the Hindenburg, he's the bad guy. Real Genius, he's a schmuck. Die Hard 2, Oscar, you know,
Ghostbusters.
you know, and I don't, the stuff he's been in more recently, I can't tell, but probably he's playing the same schmuck.
Yeah.
So,
well, hey, he made a career out of it. So
he did.
And you know, and Amy, to your point too about I don't remember. I know I've seen Die Hard 2, but the only scene I remember from that is William Atherton on the plane with Bonnie Bedelia. That's like the only thing I remember from the whole damn movie, and that and jet skis or not jet skis, snowmobiles.
Automobiles, yep.
I don't even remember that. I just remember lighting the flame.
I don't even remember that.
so Die Hard 2 takes place where?
Motherfucker, and the gas is coming out of the plane or something, and he just lights a match, and there's a line of fire that goes up to the plane.
Catches up. Yeah. Cool.
And
Place
and
at the airport.
it's at the airport.
Yeah.
Oh, right. And he walks up to the counter and says, just the facts, ma'am.
I'm gonna have to watch this now.
Joel, did you watch all the Die Hards in preparation for
I
this
did
too?
not. Why would I watch them in preparation for this? It's just
I don't know. You just tend
watch
to
all the
watch
first
all
movie.
of the movie and all the sequels before we get to it.
I don't always do that. Thank you very much.
All
I
the
did
behind
not
the scenes
because
footage, everything.
nope, didn't do any of that this time. So um
But you
I
have watched all the sequels and you have watched all the
yes, I have seen all of the sequels. The second one
and
is
watched all of the behind the scenes footage.
probably most of it, but that's you're talking about I've owned this movie on various formats over the course of I don't know 90 20 22 years maybe. So anyway, as far
Any
as
deleted scenes you want to tell us about?
no, no,
I thought maybe there was a scene that he changed his undershirt.
nope. No, he takes it off. That's it. As far as the sequels are concerned, the second one is entertaining but not great. The third one is the best of them. 4 and 5 are like Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. We try to forget that
I don't think they're that bad.
they're close.
The fourth one I think was Live Free or Die Hard with Shia LaBeouf. That one was all right, but the fifth one I couldn't get through the fifth one. I tried. I had to turn it off.
The fourth one was Justin Long, wasn't it?
Yeah, Justin Long.
Yeah, it's still not good.
Shia LaBeouf was in the Indiana Jones stuff.
Oh, okay. Someone, okay.
You're mixing up your shitty movies, Mark.
True.
I love this movie. I've seen it a bazillion times. I don't watch it every year. I have seen it over the last 3 years at Christmas time.
So you're on a roll.
I'm on a roll. I may not watch it next year. It wasn't really on my list of things until you brought it up. So
I'm putting it back on the schedule for next December 25th.
okay,
That's my
fair enough.
too.
Our Christmas movies usually rotate through things every year. So it's a great
So, Joe, do you have the COVIDs again?
No, I've had a head cold for like the last week. Without a spleen, it takes me longer to get rid of anything that gets into my system. So, but I did
Is that
take
what the spleen does?
yeah, the spleen is a repository for all of the diseases that you've had over the course of your life, and it goes, oh, we remember this. Let's send out the right, things in the blood to attack it. And without it, yeah, that's what it does. You don't know what it does until you don't have one anymore.
Yeah.
Wow. So who remembers that now?
Yeah. Oh, believe me, I don't forget this now. It's not COVID. I took another test this morning. I've been testing every couple of days just to make sure because I'm directing a show and I don't want to get my cast sick. So anyway, where was I?
Oh, Die Hard. How
Die
you
Hard.
watched it the last 3 years at Christmas.
Yeah, it's a fun film. I love it. Yeah, there's dated stuff in it. Doesn't bother me at this point. It's just kind of like, well, it is of its time. It is what it is. I think story structure wise, it moves from start to finish. This year, actually, Malcolm watched it for the first time with us, and he really enjoyed it, and had a lot of fun with watching the movie. Just a couple of minor trivia bits about it. There's 3 actors in this movie that are connected to James Bond films that came out the year before, the year after. The actor playing Tony, the I've got a machine gun, ho ho ho, dead terrorist, was the henchman in the Living Daylights the year before this, and Robert Davi was the main villain in License to Kill the year after, and Grant Bush, who played Little Johnson in this movie, was actually an FBI agent working with James Bond in License to Kill as well. So the Johnsons were on opposite sides of the equation.
And you also saw him last week in Demolition Man.
Yes. There's not much I can add to what everybody said here so far. It's there's nits to pick, but it's a fun film. I'm going to go above everybody and go with 3 3/4 stars because, it's in the National Film Registry. It deserves a little more respect. That's all. So.
Okay. That gets respect. All right. Well, I'm glad everybody enjoyed watching Die Hard again. Hopefully you have too. It's available on Stars, which we don't have anymore because Mark is a cheap.
Yippee-ki-yay.
All right. Next week, we begin our third year. Wow. Of
Right.
weekly movie watching. But we have a new twist next year. The first Monday of every month, we'll be discussing a movie from 1998. So we're gonna see what was going on in the movies 25 years ago. Isn't 25 years the NFR? You have to be at least 25 years old to get in?
10 years.
10 years.
Just 10 years.
Okay, so we've already watched two of the Best Picture nominees, Saving Private Ryan and Shakespeare in Love. And first up, we're going to watch another Best Picture nominee, The Thin Red Line, which I've never seen. It's another World War II epic. And it's not available from any of the normal subscription services, but you can rent it, and I borrowed it from the library. Any other comments? Merry Christmas, motherfuckers. All right, I'm Frank Gaffney. Watch a movie.
And also with you, motherfucker.